Welcome back to another episode of the Rondell Lane Podcast. Today we got a good friend, Isaiah Barlow, in the building.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's happening?
Hey, man. Appreciate you coming to the show.
Bro, of course, dog.
Some of you guys might have seen him if you watch my YouTube channel. Did I put anything out?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Nah.
I talked about it. I talked about the program that we worked on.
Yeah.
I don't think I actually filmed anything, but yeah, we've done some business together, but he's another videographer, content creator now.
That's so
Well,
funny.
you've been a content creator.
I have.
Taking it serious now, I would say.
I think I took it serious, but I was a kid.
Yeah.
It was like, I was 17. So do I really say I could take it seriously? Probably not. It's like,
Yeah.
It was mediocre.
I want to talk about that, though, because we have a unique space that we come from where we have the mind of content creators, but we spent most of our time making content for other people.
Yeah.
And seeing what the value that it brought to them and just kind of watching.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how is it now making content for yourself? And, like, where you want to take this?
It's fun. Like, making content for myself has been, like, the best thing. Because, one, I always have full creative control. Right? So, everything I know, this sounds so bad. You know, there's nothing wrong with our clients and things like that. But sometimes they don't want to do the thing that we might ask them. And we're like, hey, I see this is, like, how this might look or this might come across. We should try it like this.
Right.
And they just might not be comfortable. They might not feel like that's their lane. And I get that. I'm okay with that. So me being able to kind of do that on my own and really put my spin on the things that I do. By the way, I do like Lego creation content, stuff like that. For me to be able to do that and do it on my own, it's just fun. That's the best feeling ever. I can't lie to you.
How do you feel like your growth is going on YouTube right now?
Way better than I expected. I had no idea that Lego would be such a good space for me. Especially like, and you could probably relate to this too. Sometimes you feel kind of creatively stuck when you work constantly with other people's work. So you kind of feel like, okay, I've done all their stuff. I've never really done something for myself. And Lego has always been like my like wind down. Yeah. You know, video games is a wind down for me too, but this is really like all right, I can kind of just do something, listen to some music, catch a vibe for myself, and then, you know, showcase it, you know, to my mom, because that's the only person that was there. I was like, hey, Mom, look at this. I made this, right? Hey, Dad, look at this car. And they're like, good for you. Like, you know, bills, man. What are you talking about? Yeah. But to have the space that I have now and a small community of people who are just like, yeah, we like this. And it's so weird, the demographics I have for YouTube and Lego is like either super young. I always say my stuff's not for kids just because I don't want to go in that direction anyways, but I get like 18 through 24 and then like 35 through like 45. So it's like I got these cool generations of people who are just like, this is awesome. Yeah. So the growth has been good. I've enjoyed it, especially YouTube Shorts has really kind of helped that.
Yeah, Cannon, he was telling me to start making YouTube Shorts.
Dude, do it.
He was stuck at like 2,200 subs for years. He started putting up shorts, and he's like, I think he's heading towards 4,000 now.
So what I can say to that is, and fun fact, if you guys didn't know, YouTube gives you everything on their studio platform, right?
Yeah.
And every Tuesday they drop a video. With Shorts, you can put out a short, right? And let's say somebody likes, interacts with it, whatever, right? Stays on for a little bit longer. Even if they're not subscribed, you can get a notification that person put that short out, or it'll be up on their feeds page.
Yeah.
Which is great. So it really helps kind of have more of an organic platform, something that I think Instagram struggles with. Yeah. Because TikTok is very organic. It's like it just kind of throws anything out to you that you might interact with, and they're like, hey, you might like this person, try this.
Right.
But Instagram struggles with that. YouTube hasn't necessarily perfected it like TikTok, but they're the next best thing, I'll say. So put out a short, man. Like, shorts will get you started.
I started doing it here and there. Have you used the feature where you can put out a short and then link them back to the video?
That joker works.
Yeah, I did that with the Ray-Ban review.
That's the best thing you can do. Yeah. It's they've done a good job with that.
What's your long-term play for the YouTube? Is this just an outlet? Are you trying to make this a business, revenue?
Both. To be very honest, if it doesn't have to generate me a lot of money, But if I can just, in my personal opinion, kind of garner a community of people that enjoy what I enjoy, it's going to majority be Lego, but I'm probably am going to branch out to things like, hey, this is my comic book collection, right? Hey, this is because obviously I'm a big Batman fan, you know that. Yeah. So and I have a lot of Lego Batman stuff already. So I'm definitely going to probably branch out a little bit into, hey, this is the new Batman film in 2026 or 7, whenever they're going to release it.
Is it coming? I don't know.
I saw Matt Reeves said he was they're filming this year, but I don't know what that means. I'm like, okay, fine, thank you. Just keep pushing it back. But I'm probably going to maybe do like a short review on that. Just little small things, because it kind of still is in the realm of Lego, still in that nerdy space. Yeah. But I do plan on this for long term to be something I continually do. And most of the content that I do that gets big is not me always building a set. I've noticed the videos that do better are the like right now reviews. Like I got a set Saturday, 3 set Saturday, and I know those are going to do fine because they just came out this year, came out on January 1st, and people are looking for that, right? But I don't always want a new set. There's some sets that are just older that I want to build and review, and those are not going to do that well. So the videos that do well are really the ones that are like me just discussing it, me talking about what's coming out, or that's my bread and butter.
Yeah, like talking head, man. I be trying to do these extravagant vlogs. Nobody watches. And that's, I come to the studio and just talk. And sometimes we get like 2,000 views.
And that's a good thing. I know some people can see that as like, oh, but it's not as exciting. It's like,
that's how I feel. Like I wanted to be like jumping out of plane.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Nobody cares though.
But because I think that's also because we got vlog fatigue too.
Yeah.
I think vlogging really hit its peak like 2018, 19. And then people, I don't know if it was COVID or anything else, but I think we just got fatigued.
Yeah. Unless you already got like a huge fan base, I think the average person, nobody cares about what me and you were doing. We're not famous yet. Like I was watching a review, not a review, but it was just kind of like one of those channels that tell you how to grow.
Yeah.
Like what works on YouTube, what not. They were saying you have to put out like either motivational, educational type material first, grow a following, then you can like do vlogs. Because you got a fan base. They don't care about the Legos no more. They like Isaiah.
Yeah.
So if you go to just make a vlog about whatever, they're watching it because they like you.
Yeah.
They want to know about your life. So you got to build that fan base first. So.
And I definitely can see that. How that's more in that realm. Because I know for a fact, if I try to talk about the Batman stuff now, and I have a couple of, I would say, mutuals on YouTube now that I see they do, and no disrespect to y'all, I mean this here, like with all respect. I see that they might have done that pivot too fast.
Yeah.
Right? Where they did some Lego content, but they switched over to something too quickly. And it's not even your fault. It's the algorithm that wants to say, hey, go in this direction, and we don't want you to leave. And it's annoying, don't get me wrong. But that's the good part of me kind of doing this for a while, and like also doing this in terms of like us working with other people. Yeah. We're able to kind of realize like, okay, if you switch too quickly, it's not going to push your content out, and the audience is also going to be kind of confused,
right?
Because they're going to be like, are you vlogging or are you doing this?
Yeah,
is this what it is, right? And that's the only issue, right? That's the only problem with pivoting too quickly. But if you build that audience, it won't matter because they just like you for you. They don't care what you're talking about, because there's multiple YouTubers that they can talk about anything, and I'm like, oh,
you tune in.
Yeah, I'm like, what is he saying? Yeah. Oh, I'm like, I don't care about his sports takes, but I love sports anyways, and he's usually talking about music. Let me just hear what he got to say, right? Yeah. So,
do you plan on getting like any brand deals or anything like that?
So let me tell you something, Lego. I'm looking at y'all. I have reached out to y'all. So they have a program where you can be an affiliate, and so far it said on the website you need to have at least 500 followers. Mind you, I have like 600 something. It's like I think it's like 650 something. They've denied me 3 times.
Really?
Lego, I'm looking at you. I need y'all.
Just keep trying, man.
I know it's just gonna be keep pushing for it. I'm okay. To be honest with you, I'll be okay if I don't.
Yeah. You'll get it, man.
And I think I will.
Cool Cannon. He was trying to get a electric bike, probably for 2 years now.
I saw you just posted it too.
He's got one.
That's what's
They-
oh,
they-
so
they-
they gave it to him?
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
Companies kept telling him, "Oh, you're not getting enough sales, or you're not getting enough engagement." And somebody finally hit him up. It's like, "Hey, we got a bike for you." So like, you just gotta keep.
He's like,
pushing.
that's a hard one.
You gotta keep pushing, man.
It's of course frustrating, and the good part is that I know it just takes time.
Yeah.
I had like a couple brand deals when I did sneaker YouTube for a while. I had like a few. It wasn't like a lot. It was like 2, but still, I know that it's a slow grind. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's just like I would love for y'all just to send me a set, please. Like, if you know, it's kind of expensive to buy all these sets.
I was about to ask you, so how on average, how much are you spending to run your YouTube channel?
So this is the good news. The good news is this is something I've always loved and done, right? And if you're a person that loves Lego, you probably would know this. Or even if a person that just loves anything, you probably buy on a regular basis and just don't, do it yet. So like if you like Funko Pops, I'm not a Funko Pop person like that, but if you do, you probably buy a couple of them that you haven't like put on the shelf yet where you wanted to. So I actually have a lot of sets that I just have not built, and that's just it. So I saved a little money because I didn't have to buy a set every time, right? And mind you, also the videos that do the best are not the ones that are reviews unless they just came out.
Gotcha.
So the most in terms of like at one given time, it was probably like $350, but that was because the Transformers 1 movie came out, and I wanted to do the Optimus Prime, and I love that figure. Like, that's a great Lego set. It's Optimus Prime. They should have made Starscream. They should have made Megatron. Just being honest, they made Bumblebee. No disrespect.
Because Bumblebee it sells.
Yeah, I'm just
I
like,
think they had the movies.
give me Megatron. Like, I give me Starscream. Like, that's me personally. I'm like, if you're gonna give me Optimus Prime, you have to give me Megatron. At least.
You kind of do, yeah.
But they didn't, so I was like, all right, fine. But the movie was coming out, so I picked it up. And Pharrell's movie came out, the Lego movie.
Did you watch that?
No, I didn't. I should have. Was it okay? You didn't like it?
Nah, I didn't watch that. I was like, when I saw the trailer, I was like, who is this for?
To be honest with you, that's a great question, and that's a whole other conversation. But I don't think the movie did well in terms of box office.
You should have reviewed that though.
I mean,
that would have been. I would have went to see it just
for
just for the review. Like,
to be honest with you, you're right. I just didn't. It was not anything like against me, like going against it. It was just like I just didn't. But his set came out, and that's actually my most viewed video. And the day it came out, I bought it and pre-ordered it, and it came in the same day. So that's my most viewed video. I think it's one of my most viewed shorts.
that's dope.
Yeah, so that was and it's a good set. It's not the best set, and I even on my review I said, hey, you're paying $120 for this thing. It's a work of art, but it's not a set where I'm like, oh, kids will like this. No, absolutely not. But it's a unique set for sure, and it made my top 5 list for Lego sets this year. So or last year that is, but
yeah.
But yeah, no, like that. I should have watched the movie just to review it though, because I'm a Pharrell and Pusha T fan particularly. So, and I was in school in Virginia and like in the Hampton Roads area, so where they from. So I was like, I'll watch it. But I'm a person that's like, let me just wait till it gets on HBO. I'm like,
I actually I went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine the same like Thursday, like, preview day or whatever. Came in here like 10 o'clock at night. Filmed the review and never put it out.
Yep.
Like, I don't know why, but like, and I was hyped. I was adamant about like I got to see it so I could have one of the early reviews. Just never put it out. I feel like it didn't
hit.
Well,
not
I didn't know where to put it in the movie. I thought the movie was cool, but it was
that.
just for the review. I didn't want to put it on my main channel because my main channel was like camera stuff, you know what I'm saying? And entrepreneurship. I got a second channel, but it's kind of dead over there. So I was like, where do I put it?
Is it going to fit in this realm? And
it took like 3 days for me to even think about it. And by then,
people
already had it. Because since I filmed it on the day of, it was not a spoiler. It was spoiler free. So like, with me just taking time thinking about it, there was like full spoiler videos out. So I was like, what's the point?
Yeah, I guess whatever. It's the standard. That's the standard. That's the standard.
And so like, all right, so we talked about your content creation space. What brought you into, being an entrepreneur and, filming content for other people? Like, how did you find that career path versus a 9 to 5?
I know we talked about this before. So and I can really, it's crazy. I can really draw back to like my childhood now. Some people have those stories like, oh, when I was a kid, I used to do this. And I actually could have that story, right?
Yeah.
My brother at the time, we were like 12, 13. I was editing his clips for him. We were doing, Call of Duty montage clips. That's when that was still cool. Yeah. And we were already getting used to doing editing and imagery to some degree then. COVID hit, and I came back from school. That was my senior year of college, and it was like, well, I'm graduating, and I don't know necessarily my next step. I went to grad school, but it was during the pandemic, so it felt empty. So I didn't necessarily feel fulfillment in going to grad school at the time. So did a semester, and I was like, yep, I don't think I could do that. And so I decided to become a car salesman for like 3 days. And it was like a rainy Thursday. It was in Durham. And, I live in Burlington. Okay. So
you're driving.
Yeah. And so I was like, and I remember it was like every time, no disrespect to the car salesman. It's just not a space for me. It's a very cutthroat space, at least the dealership that I was at, where, they're going to cuss you out and tell you how terrible you are and you need more sales. How dare you not get another sale? And sell that old Ford Focus to that 10-year-old. He should be buying that now. Like, no, I don't feel like it, right? So all that just led me to end up hitting up like a family member of mine who is still a client to me to this day, and they just said, "Yeah, I'll give you $400 a month," and I thought that was crazy. I was like, "Man, $400."
When you first start off, you hit them, you'd be like, "Yeah, I can make this."
$400, right? He doesn't pay me $400 today. He pays me a lot more, but yeah, like that was like the first thing, and I got a taste of like feeling a little bit of freedom inside of the thing that I like to do. Because I had always done stuff with cameras. I always worked in content. I just never knew that somebody would actually pay me handsomely too. Is that, well, $400 wasn't that handsome, but it was good enough for me to be like, I can start here. So that was kind of the first step in there. And then I worked with my church for a long time. And it was just the idea of like, I can do what I want when I want, kind of, to some degree, and still feel passion and a fulfillment every day. I wake up and this, like when you create something, it's a great feeling, and I can feel that when I'm done with my work.
Okay.
So that kind of like stuck me into saying, you know what? Yes, a job would sound great and fantastic, but this feeling, and there's still some things I miss about a job though. There's still some, it's just the security.
Is it really secure though?
No,
like we say that, but like you can get fired at any moment.
Yeah, it's not that, but in the sense of
the idea of knowing every 2 weeks you're gonna get a paycheck.
You did your time. Yeah. You're gonna get paid.
Benefits.
Yeah, like that feeling. That's a moment I miss. But the rest of it, in the sense of like, having to ask to go somewhere, having to ask all the time. I mean, I still kind of ask, but I mean, most of my clients know if I just say, "Hey, I'm not gonna be there, y'all. I'm sorry." Like, got these things happening. Okay. They're like, we'll reschedule for another day. And that's just it.
Yeah.
So that's
kind of piggybacking off you saying you can kind of control your schedule, things like that. I've been seeing you do a lot of traveling, or at least it seems like it. So what's going on? You be in what, Cali and New York?
So no, contrary to prior belief, I don't do a lot of traveling. The good news, Instagram makes you look like you do a lot of stuff.
It sure does.
But I did explore a little bit more last year. I had a good year last year. 2024 was good. A lot of things I messed up in 2023 in terms of what I wanted to do, or maybe like, trying to build out systems and stuff. I just didn't succeed in them, and it was what it was, right? But I would say, put those pieces together in 2024 and was able to help clients make more money. And in turn, I made a lot more money. Right. So March, I had like a really, really, really good month that month. And I was like, okay, we did it, killed some debt. I'll go to San Francisco. And that was just, and I also kind of started diving into like film photography. And San Francisco was just a cool place to go to. very scenic. And I was like, you know what? I got my film camera. I got new film stock. You know, let me just try it out. Right, new 35 millimeter, and let's just try it. And so that's why I went to San Fran. And then I also went to Los Angeles in November. That was my girlfriend's birthday, so it was more like a, hey, it's your birthday, so we're gonna go to Camp Flog Gnaw. And yet again, brought a camera with me. So I was like, okay. I didn't bring the film one though, because I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about bringing a film camera. And also, by the way, I didn't know with film cameras you cannot, like, you can bring them on a plane, but like you have to get them swabbed, hand swabbed.
I know that.
So it's like an X-ray when you throw them through the TSA thing. And if you put your film in there, it's just gonna burn all the film. I only learned this because Peter McKinnon made a video like 4 days before I went to San Francisco and talked about that. And I was like, what? I was like, what? And then I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, do you know that? And he was like, yeah. He was like, oh, wait, you're young. You wouldn't know that. He was like, you didn't do film like that. I was like, yeah, I didn't know that. I had no idea that you put a film photography through TSA is screwed. He was like, yeah, nah. He was like, just don't do that. So something I learned midway through, so you just got to get a hand swab. So it's a little bit of a strenuous process. Yeah. It's not hard. You just ask them and they just do it. But it's still like, it's an extra step of like, you got to bring your film. And but all that was really more leisure. You know, I had friends in both areas, so it's cool to see some of my old friends. But that was just me more like getting a little bit, exploring and enjoying myself after a good and hard year at the same time of 2024. But it was a good year. And just taking some cool photography at the same time. So,
what do you prefer more, photography or video?
Obviously video, because I've been doing it longer, but it's weird. I don't, you know me, I'm not necessarily a good studio person. I'm not good in the studio. And that's also because I just haven't practiced, so I'm nervous about doing it. So I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I'm
a lot of people freak out like studio.
I do. I'm one of those guys.
Because you got to know lighting at that point. You can't just...
I watch your stuff and I'm like, God almighty, that looks great. I couldn't do that. I'm like,
you could, man.
I'm like, ugh. I'm like, that's because I tried. Like, I think it was like 2 years ago. My girl was like, hey, let's take some pictures of my dog and I for Christmas, right? Those looked horrible. I was like, this is why I was like, I cannot believe it.
You gotta have like some external lighting. Like,
this is all new to me too. So I'm like, ooh, like trying to get used to strobe and all that. I'm like, whoa. But if we're talking about like street photography, and like I'm doing some comedy photography too, like that's like my kind of my bread and butter, because it's kind of like you're kind of just in the moment. So that's especially with street photography. Like, I enjoy street photography. You notice that most of my stuff is probably gonna be more street photography anyways, or architectural, and that's just easy to do. But it's also because my dad was an engineer, so we used to do architectural photography all the time. So it's kind of like my background, and it says like I got used to that with him, so I kind of appreciate that a lot. So that I love street and architectural, but in terms of video, I probably like that more, and I'm just because I'm like kind of an eye for it a lot more. I'm more keen on like how I want something to look. But I think it's always depending on what we're shooting, because if you're talking about, oh, you want me to shoot a time lapse of you washing your car, not that fun. But if you're gonna say do a time lapse, not a time lapse. If you said do like a creative video of you and your new Corvette, I'm all go. I'm like, okay, this is what I like. Yeah. So it just depends on what it is, probably.
Yeah. Speaking of that, do you have one of those the car mounts?
I seen one and I want to buy it, and
I bought one on TikTok. I hadn't even opened it yet.
Did Monte have one too?
Yeah, that's what I bought. I bought it before you made the video. Actually, like I want to set my. I actually started to use it Sunday when it snowed. I was gonna put my 360 camera on the back of my car, but I haven't toyed with it yet, and I was trying to shoot before the snow stopped. Yeah, so I just did it the old school way and just held my pole out the window. But hey, I have seen some videos, and I know you're into cars. You should definitely pick one up. You can do some dope shots.
I low key am probably gonna end up picking it up.
It's cheap.
Yeah, because I know they're not
$30 or $40.
My only fear, and this isn't even not just for the car mount, this is for every time I'm doing car videography, is that I'm not sure if you see that video where it's like it's on a gimbal and it just falls off.
Nah, that thing's That thing rock solid, bro.
I know it is. Look, shoot, even when I do my handheld stuff, I know it's rock solid.
Yeah.
I'm just terrified. Like, is this the day? is this the moment?
Get insurance. You got insurance?
Yeah, I do, but I'm still like, is this the day?
It do make you nervous. It make you nervous.
Because most times this is not safe, but I just hang out the back of a truck and I'm like,
dude, we was doing that.
This is,
like
not the safest.
It ain't the safest, but hey,
man, just get the best shot.
Get the shot.
Yeah, I'm like, it's worth it.
I got a YouTube video up from like 2017 or something. We were hanging out off the back of a truck,
and they look the best in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's like because it's right there, and you're like, you can get the most bokeh, like it.
Yeah. Now speaking of what we do, we talked about this off camera. Do you think our industry is threatened with AI?
the terrible AI. So it's two equal parts. I think it's equal part yes, equal part no. I'm gonna start off with the no. I'm gonna start off with the yes. The yes is, I think there are gonna be tools used to cut us out that are gonna pretty much take a lot of the menial stuff that we do, and a lot of the things that we are paid for, such as building short form content, other people's big form content, right? I think stuff like that's going to definitely get thrown to the wolves, and we're not going to have it as much, right? I definitely think that is true. But even as I was listening to a podcast yesterday about this too, the no is one. I don't think we are really, and maybe this is just because of the time. I don't think we have the best form of AI right now. I don't think so. Obviously, we don't, because as it gets better, it's going to get better, right?
6 months.
But I say that to say there was oh my gosh, I can't remember the program, and I probably should say the program name because I don't want to disrespect them as a intelligence program. But a client of mine wanted to use this one program to chop up their long form, right?
Is it? I know what you're talking about. It's the one that everybody uses.
It looks. It has this weird mirror looking thing on the front. I don't know what it's called. I haven't been on their platform in a year and a half, but I think we're probably talking about the same thing. Let me tell you something. That is the worst. It is terrible. But this one was horrible, and this is pretty popular too. But it was terrible, and I was like in sense of it cut up the project good. That's fine, right? It added captions. That's cool. But in the sense of it actually creating content that was going to be useful. No, it kind of just did exactly what you told it to do. Yeah. Cut the project up, put some captions on it, and you're good, right? But did it really find the parts that were important? Not really. Did it find the moments where it's hey, you cut it up, but you didn't need this one part, right? You know what I mean? Where it's we cut stuff up all the time.
I think you're talking about Opus.
Yeah, and
I used it before.
It just didn't do exactly what you think. It did what it told you. It said it was gonna do.
Did it spit you out maybe
30 clips?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you have to go through and try to find a couple that might work.
Right,
yeah,
and even then it's I wouldn't have kept that one part in there.
Right.
It's that's the problem. That's why I say
the camera angle be dumb sometimes.
That's the part where I say it's not going to do it. Right. Not because.
But it's super early though.
Agreed.
You remember a year ago the Will Smith video where he was eating the spaghetti and he looked like a monster?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a video of Will Smith just eating spaghetti and he was transforming, and that was less than a year later they did another version of that. It was almost spot on, bro.
And to that, I think that's for a person who is getting the best one at the current moment. That is the best one at the current moment. And having either the funds to afford that or use that. But most cases, though, most people don't have the funds to afford that AI program. And on top of that, they're going to be charging crazy money to use that program because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people have these awesome AI programs that can do all this crazy whimsical stuff, but they're charging out the wazoo to do it.
Aren't some of them free?
Some are free, but they're not good. As we know, it's free doesn't equal good. The one I recently purchased one, which was Topaz, right? That's the one that enhances your quality of your footage. It's good, but I was trying to make a certain look to one of my pieces, right? And I might get it. Just stay tuned. It might come out. And I'll definitely, say that it's AI and generated or enhanced. Yeah. But so far it's not doing what I wanted it really to do. Like the way I wanted to do. I had a sports clip. I was gonna have like a shot here where it's the regular shot, zoom in, have it kind of really, really, I'll say enhanced, so you can kind of like get the ball moving and stuff. Nah, can't really do that. That's not how it works.
Gotcha.
So I think it's good, and I think people who are privy to the expensive ones, like that one was $200 too. At that,
Is that like a yearly subscription?
It's full time, but there is a subscription to it. Though,
Okay.
I think the updates come at a price.
Gotcha.
So you see how this starts to become like if you have the money,
But that's still less than paying for a videographer. If you're a full time creator, like
but
still,
how many people are going to pay $300? Because it was $200 because of Christmas. How many people are going to pay up front $300 to learn a program that they probably don't want to do anyways? Because we know they're not going to do it, and then pay a yearly subscription for the updates for said program? They're not going to do it. They're going to probably just say,
this is how it works.
Go to Fiverr.
People will be like lazy about getting on stuff like that until colleagues in their same field start using it and talking about it.
True.
That's where the problem comes, because then they'll pay attention. And it's, oh, you spend how much? Let's say I spend $5,000 a year on this program. I pay my content creator $5,000 a month. It's no brainer.
I agree, but what I've personally seen is, one, most of them don't pay every content. I think
I mean,
I know you.
even if they pay you $2,500.
Well, I'll say this. I think, and me and you we're privileged. Only so privileged, but we're privileged in the sense of we have good clients that actually we have relationships with, where they're willing to pay us, I think, a decent amount of money. Most content creators are probably making like roughly between, like the average is probably gonna be really making like $3,000 a month, and that's from a myriad of different people, right? So let's call it from 15 people, they're making a total of $3,000. So they're not making. I wish I could do the math in my head right now, but it's not more than a couple hundred from each person. Right. So all of them are gonna say, yeah, it's not worth it to even buy a $300 program that they gotta learn to then do that. And also it's like like I said, it's just a money factor. Mm-hmm. They just don't make enough to do that. Yeah. Nor do they have the time to learn, or so as we know some people do, hire a VA that then learns it too. Like, they're not going to do it unless they really want to hire a VA for 10 cents an hour and then teach that VA how to do that. It's like, okay, so you hire the VA, which took a lot of time to find a good one, and then you bought the program, and then you do all this stuff just for them to learn, finally to do content. Bro, you could have just, like, that your time was wasted. Your money was wasted in terms of all that.
So you think we're safe is what you're saying?
Not, like I said, the no, we're not safe is I think there's gonna be a lot of low hanging fruit areas that we do that's not safe. The yes is, I think a lot of people who are buying our services or purchasing our services are too lazy to learn a program, or they think what my client thought, oh, I just chop my clips up and I put them up and I'm good. And it's like, all those clips were trash and none of them got more than like 50 views. You know why? Because they're all garbage. You went down the cheap route, and what did you expect? You got cheap. And when you go cheap, that's what you get. Versus when I do his content, even today, we over here garnering thousands of views, and he's like, yep, let's just keep doing this. And mind you, I don't charge him a lot. I literally, because mind you, I don't even, his whole situation is, I charge him, I can say this out loud, but I charge him $50 a session because all I have to do is record. He has a different person who edits that's like a full-time editor or whatever for him. So I just record, send the clips off to the editor, and that's it. So I basically just charge him for the hour we might spend together. So I make $50 an hour pretty much every Friday, just for 1 hour of my time. And the rest of it I just send it off to the guy. It's like, this is just, like, that's where I'm like, we're okay. Where we can think differently outside the box. Especially if we can show, hey, that program you're using is great and all, but you see how you keep getting no views on your stuff because the camera angle's trash. It keeps pulling out trash clips, and it makes the video too long. You're over here getting a minute clip. Yeah. What's that minute? You think that's a hook and attention grabber good enough right there? It wasn't. Like, you could have easily paid somebody else a little bit more money and got a better return, because if for the people that we know we work with, they're trying to move a course, they're trying to move a book, they're trying to move all these other things.
Right.
You will get a better return from getting those things versus getting 50 views and 49 of them was your family.
Do you prefer not to do your editing? Like,
No. I love doing my editing.
okay.
But I will say, in terms of menial, and I think this is where I get frustrated with short form content. I will enjoy even my own stuff. I enjoy doing my long form content more than I enjoy editing my short form.
That's how I am.
It's just menial. It's
Cannon though. He hates long form. Like he loves short form. I'm like, my brain doesn't work short form.
It's because it's you're putting a miniature project every time.
Yeah, I feel like I'm trying to like. I got to be so precise about what I say and what I use because you got to be like
quick,
and I just
fast. Like
it's hard for me to do that. I probably could edit 3 long form videos in the same time that it would take me to do like 5 shorts.
I have a client right now who likes me doing about 5 shorts on Monday. He likes me to give him about 5 shorts. It takes me the longest to do his 5 shorts. And he has we do about 4 long forms a week though. The 4 long forms, I crank out like this. Yeah. It's like, all right, cool, right? You know, long form, I throw in the stock footage. I'll add some zoom in and zooms out. It takes me technically longer to do it because, you know, it might be a 10-minute video. It's going to take me about maybe 40 minutes to do so after I do all that stuff. But I enjoy it more. I get no fulfillment. I'm literally slugging through doing 5 short form videos because I'm like, oh my God, like I gotta throw in the captions and I do a couple of things here and there. I might add a little bit of sound design, but they're all the same. Yeah. It's pretty cut and dry, but it's just monotonous.
Yeah, that's why I put a lot of assets in those, way more than
to keep attention.
Yeah.
That's why I don't. Yeah, no. Like, but in terms of me editing, yeah, I love editing. It just depends on like if it's that short form. I'm like, please, somebody take this from me. Yeah. To the point where I taught my girlfriend how to edit. Where I'm like, hey, babe, would you just I'll give you the money for it. Like, just take it from me.
That's smart.
Because I'd rather her make that and do that. And even her, she's even been like, this is boring. I was like, I know. That's why I gave it to you because I don't like it.
Are you still working in the real estate space? Like working with a lot of agents?
Not as much. And that is definitely due to, wouldn't want to dive too deep into this topic, but it's definitely due to the market.
The housing market?
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely still work, you know one of my clients very well. I know one of his clients very well. They both work in real estate. And they're consistent. But that's because,
that's investing though. I mean, like, I'm talking about the real estate agents, like, tour this house with me. Like,
no. It's also because, and this is harsh to say, but agents don't make that much money. And, obviously we get paid based off of if people have money or not. Right. I have an agent who's helped me look for a house now, right? And he was a client of mine, but he kind of made it very clear to me, like, hey, man, this year, just don't got it like that. So probably won't be shooting content. And I said, understood, right? And I respect that. But the market right now for real estate is just kind of interest rates aren't the best. Housing just doesn't look the best.
So So speaking of that, what would make you want to buy a house now versus waiting?
So, and this
or renting.
Well, so this is the pro and the con. The pro is we know from our clients how good it is to own a property. It is actually way better to own the property, as we know, and you just receive way more benefits in terms of what we can write off, what we can do, et cetera, blah blah blah, right? And we got appreciation, and we can sell the house later. All the good jazz that you hear on the internet. That's the main reason why, right? I'm like, I know what I'm receiving. I'm receiving something that I can, one, keep and use as an investment later and pass down to my nephew or niece or my own kids, collateral, etc. That's why. And also, like, later, we're not quite sure. This is a very weird climate, as we know. Right. And the way we have giant, like, investment corporations, not even our clients. They don't even, they're no disrespect to them, but they're not on the
You
same.
talking about the Black Rocks?
BlackRock and Redfin, etc. Like they can just come in and buy a house, and as I'm kind of noticing, and I think the statistic is like most of the wealth is in the boomer generation.
Yeah.
The people who are younger, and yes, you are younger. I know you might be to me, but you're not. I'm not going to throw you in that bus. But people who are younger, we haven't had that wealth shift yet, so we kind of have to get in now before it becomes literally a free for all. Because once that boomer generation and I can't remember, I think it's called like the founders generation, whatever's before the boomers, when they kind of pass on, that's a lot of real estate that's about to be like just on the market. And it's just going to be a lot of like, hey, you can buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. So I think it's just good to buy for that reason. But it doesn't mean that renting is bad. Because I have friends right now who want to buy a house. And it's just hard. One of my friends just bought one. He's happy. It's good for him. But it took him a while to get there.
Yeah.
And another one of my friends, he's married, and him and his wife just got into their home. And he was like, it was a headache and a half just trying to get that one.
I've been seeing videos where there's like a lot of buyer's remorse, people that bought houses over the last 2 years, and like, let's say they got a house for $1,500 a month, $1,200 a month. Now it's like $2,000, and so they really can't pay for it. So it makes it kind of scary.
Yeah, especially when somebody might be quick to sell your mortgage off.
Right.
Because they just said buy one for $1,200, or it's $1,200 a month, and plus your taxes and everything, you might run out to $1,800, right? But you get your mortgage sold in the first month, interest rates go up a little bit, and you might have got an arm too. Oh yeah, you're about to be paying like $2,400.
Right. And if you just had the budget for the 18, that's a lot more money to come up with. You know what I'm saying?
That's nah.
Yeah, it's scary. I was thinking about getting one this year, but I'm like, I got some other little side projects I'm working on. If those pan out, I might make the jump to buy a house. But if not, I'm just gonna rent one. And I got to get out of an apartment. Like I'm over apartment, so I will be leaving regardless. But it's probably gonna be renting versus trying to buy one.
At the end of the day, it's a house, whether it's rent or owned. It's gonna be a house.
Yeah, I got to be in a house.
Same.
I need space.
Same. Like I don't think, especially with the whole Lego thing too. Like literally the main reason I'm like I need to get a house also is because I'm like I have all these Legos and I'm like, where do I put this? I'm like I have no more room in my walls. Like it's just like, all right, this is nothing I can do. And I would love to have like as we're talking off camera, a studio area where you can just kind of like in your own
have it set up. You just go there and hit record. You ain't got to put no lights up because like that stops me from making content sometimes.
Me too.
Like I'll be thinking about the fact if this room's cleared out, I'm like, man, I gotta go there, set my camera, I'll just stay home.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Even like I'm gonna help you break this down when we leave, but that feeling of break this all down, and put all this in this, and then put it back over here, and then and depending on what your content you're talking about. I script out my stuff, for like actually for everything. I really script out most of my stuff except if it's like just low hanging fruit. Yeah. Oh, let's talk about Lego releases today. Yeah. But the rest of it I script out. So that means I'm taking at least 30 minutes to like kind of give a little bit of a couple of points that I want to hit. And that's going to take me 30 minutes. And I got to make sure all my stuff is charged because sometimes I didn't charge my stuff. And then the SD card
when I came in here, my SD card was full. Like,
and it's like, okay, I got to transfer all this stuff. Yeah, that's it. It's that feeling of having a dedicated space to creatively be in like solace. That's a great feeling. And that's why I'm like, same here. I need a home. Yeah. At least to either buy or rent. And at this point, I'm kind of like, just give me anything, just as long as it's not in the hood. Right. As long as I'm safe.
I'm safe.
And my camera ain't gonna
not
be
stolen. Not too far away from
work.
It, yeah. Like,
like just like I'm good. Even though some of my realtors are kind of like, oh, you could be in this one lawyer. I'm like, hey man, that doesn't look safe to me. I'm like, no.
Are you trying to come to Greensboro or out where you're at? Like,
so no, so I will be shifting to Kannapolis.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
that's like on the way to Charlotte.
That's going towards Charlotte. Yeah. But I still want to be close to Greensboro because I still have Greensboro clients. But I've picked up some more clients in Charlotte, so that's fun. So
is your girlfriend in Charlotte?
Yeah, she also is.
That's what I knew it. I knew it.
You can't. You don't know me. You can't pin this on me.
I knew it. Yeah,
but of course, that's definitely an influence. Let me not act like it ain't. But she's also influenced me to gain more clients in Charlotte, and I can admit, the Charlotte clientele is a little younger, so I can do a little bit more creative projects. They don't pay as much. Let's be real, because they're younger. Yeah. But they're still fun to work with, and especially with what I'm kind of shifting my content to in terms of like how I work with people on a daily basis. It works out for that. So gotcha. Definitely gonna be over there. Like I said, but it has to be a home though. Yeah, I understand the apartment, but I need a dedicated clearing of my mind space.
Yeah. Nobody making noise above your head and all that stuff. Like,
yeah. Look, or if I could play the game and just yell.
Right. Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I died. Like, come on.
That takes us to our final little segment here. I like to ask my guests, what they're into, like not talking about business, no, just who they are. So, tell us a little bit about some of your hobbies.
Like, he's over here playing dumb. We had a whole conversation about this.
Well, it's for the guests. I got to interview you like I don't know you.
That's true. Of course, Lego is, of course, a big hobby of mine. Funny enough, nobody really knows this either. I have a TikTok on, like, hip-hop. Well, it's really on me just yapping on everything. But I love hip-hop. But you know that to some degree. Like, I love hip-hop. I love cars. There's so many different things I love. And obviously, I love video games. Gaming is a love of mine. That was my first place of editing, literally. So it's like I have a affinity for it. And we were talking off camera, so now I got to ask your question on camera. Number one, as I'm reaching into the nerd space here, right? I know the Superman movie trailer came out, and you told me off camera how you felt about the Superman movie, but I want you to say it now because I have my own feelings about it.
Well, I thought it was a good trailer. I think, based on the trailer, I think the movie should be pretty good. Okay. Now, does it bring back the same passion that I would get when I saw Thor's hammer? At the end of whatever movie. Whatever.
Was it Iron Man?
I think it wasn't.
It might have been Iron Man. It was early. It might have been Captain America.
Yeah, but whatever movie it was, like when you used to see those little Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like no, I don't think I'll ever get that back.
Nah, definitely not.
But I did go from being indifferent about the new DCU to being like, like
I can feel that. I didn't like it, but I talked to my homeboy. He's way more of a comic book stan and way by the book kind of guy. Yeah. That's who he is, right? He loved it. I said I didn't like it. It gave me too much hope. That's what I said. I said I was too happy. I need some darkness in DC, man. Like, but that's also because I'm a Batman fan. So I like.
But to the essence of Superman, that ain't him.
Yeah, right.
It's to feel good.
Right. Yeah. So I had to. Now the trunks I don't like. I didn't like the trunks.
People say that, but man,
that's classic.
Comic accurate. He wear drawers on top of it. That's what it is, man. I don't know why, but he wear drawers on top of his tights, man.
I was very uncomfortable. I was like, bro, take these not take these drawers off, but take these drawers. like get rid of that, bro. I thought we left that away.
But people was mad about the last iteration because it didn't have it because it's not comic accurate.
See, that's why I'm like, y'all people ain't happy about nothing.
Yeah, you can't. you can't please.
Yeah,
you can't please.
And granted, a lot of people didn't like Man of Steel. I liked it.
I did too. I thought it was okay.
I think people kind of give it a lot more hate than it needed to be. But this is just me personally. When I saw Superman, that was my first time seeing him in full destructive power. And that was awesome to see. Yeah. Because I've never seen that in film. Maybe the one time was Superman Returns when the bullet hits his eye and it crunches up. That was so cool to me. Or he hits the Superman landing. I was like, ooh, this is great. Yeah. But other than that, I've never seen him all out fighting somebody and the whole city's busted because it's that's real. That's what would happen.
Books, though, yeah.
And that's why I like Man of Steel, and it just seemed a little bit more dreary. This one just seemed a little bit more happy. He does look like a Superman. Some people didn't like the way he looked.
I think his suit look a little. It's like a little baggy.
He's not as big as Henry.
That's the thing. He big though. The dude got jacked. But they put him in a baggy suit, so you can't even see his physique.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd be pissed if I was him.
And to me, he's supposed to look kind of, it's that's Superman. He's strong, right? But I didn't necessarily get that. I think Henry Cavill looked the greatest. He looked the most. First of all, he looked the most Smallville to me, and I love that. This guy doesn't look as much Smallville. He does look more like heroic Superman, you know. And so that's kind of where I'm like, yet again, I'm not used to it. But that is Superman.
I like his Clark Kent better than Cavill. Cavill still was like,
Oh, his Clark Kent is good.
That wasn't no nerd. He wasn't no nerd.
I don't think there was ever a Clark Kent moment.
Right, like it was Superman. It was Superman
90% of the time.
90% of the time, yeah.
90% of the time.
Yeah.
I don't think there was. There was the only Clark Kent moment you get with Cavill is the beginning when his uncle passes away.
Yeah.
But that's the only time.
Yeah.
The rest of it's just Superman.
Yeah.
So I get that. So I'm definitely excited. But with that being said, though, is the superhero fatigue being trumped by video game resurgence movies? It has video game.
There is no resurgence of video game. Like this is I think Hollywood is in on this. It's a trope where video game movies have to be bad. It's been that way since the first one, Super Mario Brothers.
That was a horrible movie.
That's what I'm saying. It's been that way. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. Resident Evil's trash too.
I never.
The first one was okay.
Oh wait, I remember Resident Evil movies. They
just became popcorn movies.
They were AMC movies.
Yeah.
On TV though. Like it was like
it was a TV movie. Like all franchise movies are pretty much bad. We talked about Mario. Yes, that did great. Sonic. All three of those have done great.
Well, let's think about it though. Do you think the idea of doing a video game movie with it being CGI and animated is a way better idea? Because it seems like it's kind of working.
Possibly.
Like it's kind of.
I can rock with that. I would like to see a live action movie that's really good though, but I just don't. I think we get directors and writers that don't care about the source material.
Definitely not.
So that's what we're getting. That's why they're trash.
And I can't say that they're all good because obviously Uncharted, I don't think it did well.
No, Uncharted wouldn't. I watched that and this wasn't. It's just titled Uncharted. This ain't
the rest of it's just
like even casting
Tom Holland.
That's not Nathan Drake.
Yeah, I don't think that was.
Sully,
he's a great
Sully, his right hand man. That's like an old dude with a mustache. We got Mark Wahlberg. I'm like, what? Like I don't.
And then of course we had said off camera Borderlands was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean I wasn't going
to. That was horrible. That was on streaming like 2 weeks after it came out.
It looked horrible. It looked absolutely terrible.
Yeah. I got a rule: if I see Kevin Hart in a movie, I just know not to go see it. No shot to Kevin Hart.
Chances are it's probably bad. Exception of a few. Yeah. I definitely think the video game movie in terms of animation are doing well right now. They kind of hit. They found. I think Sonic kind of ushered this in because the second they beat Sonic up for having that bad animation the first time,
they changed it.
They changed it, which I was cool.
That
with.
was amazing that they changed it.
And well, I think that kind of
normally don't listen to us.
Oh no, they don't. But I think what they're realizing is this is a cash grab.
Right.
Like we can really bring a character back, like a Sonic, like a Mario.
Question for you: you've seen Sonic, correct?
I've seen 1 and 2. I didn't see 3 yet.
So I can't really ask you.
Well, first of all, my homeboy, same.
Has it been spoiled for you?
Oh, not the whole thing, but like I know. Spoiler warning.
Yeah, if you ain't seen it at this point,
spoiler
just like
warning.
him,
but I
should be spoiled.
I got pissed off because I saw the Super Sonic and Shadow moment. I don't like that you showed me that, bruh. Not you, but my homeboy.
But okay,
he put it on Instagram too. So
that's not even that's irrelevant for what I'm talking about. Like that don't matter.
Oh.
Do you know
Robotnik and
do you know about Robotnik?
Yeah, I know about.
You know what happens? You know what happens to him?
Don't tell me anything.
So that's what I'm asking. Do you know what?
No.
Okay, I can't ask you the question.
Don't ask me the question.
I can't ask you the question.
I'm still gonna watch it though. I'm gonna because first of all, my girl loves horror movies, and I don't.
That's rare.
And she doesn't care for Sonic movies like that or video game movies, but I do. So it's just like I'm like, hey, you want to go see?
Go by yourself, man.
Oh yeah, I know. I gotta get used to saying like, all right,
dude. I've been going. So my daughter's mom used to go to movies with me while we were dating, and after my daughter was born, about 6 months after that, it got slower and slower.
Yeah,
because I'm a guy like if you know me, we have to go to the movies on opening
opening night.
If we don't, not even opening weekend, opening night. If we don't make it by then, I'm probably not gonna go. That's just how
I can see that. Like mine's opening weekend usually. Yeah. That's why it takes me. Look, that's why I didn't see it's a Pharrell movie. If I don't make a plan for it on opening weekend for me, I can deal with not doing opening night, but weekend at least.
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna watch it. Or I'll wait till it gets on streaming and then I'll watch it.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, I'll wait for streaming at that point. But yeah, so once my daughter was born, she don't like leaving my daughter with her parents or with somebody to watch her. So it got more and more often that I wasn't seeing movies. So I was like, all right,
I just gotta go by myself.
And ever since then I've been going by myself.
I just be sad though, because sometimes I'd be like, somebody gotta like,
It's a lot of people that be in there by themselves though. Like, and then you'll be talking to your neighbor like, oh snap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, it'd be a lot of people in there.
I gotta get used to it. It's just, sometimes you want to have that camaraderie of like, do you see this? Like Deadpool and Wolverine, we saw it. She loved it. Like, oh man, she was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
After the fact though, that movie was kind of overrated. After you get over the hypeness. It was a terrible script. Like the story was trash. Like
the only thing that's good is that it's a setup for the future. I
don't think so.
Well, in sense of,
I think it's a throwaway.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if it is,
like as far as
if it is, that's crazy.
It pretty much is. Like that movie ain't gonna have no relevance to the other movies, like the other Avengers and all that.
It's probably not.
It's not gonna have no relevance, bro.
Kind of going in this direction still though. First of all, the other day, me and you had a conversation about our video games, right? It was Cody. What's his name?
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes gave his top 5.
American Nightmare.
He gave his top 5 video games, and you had mentioned that it was blasphemous. In keyword blasphemous, that he did not have certain franchises on there. I did put you on blast in a sense because I asked my brother and my whole boy. I was like, "Am I tripping?" And they're like, "No, you're not."
Y'all all young.
No.
Y'all all young, bro.
No. Hey, hold up. To give context though, his list included, these are the 5 in order to: Ghost of Tsushima, Halo, the first one, Red Dead Redemption 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, and Ocarina of Time, which is an oldie.
Oh, yeah, that is.
That one came out like 99, I think. Maybe.
I was in high school. I still don't know what that is.
That's Zelda, man.
Only Zelda game I played was the gold cartridge on the Nintendo.
I know what you're talking about.
Like the 90s. That's the only Zelda I've played.
Ocarina of Time is considered one of the greatest games of all time.
I just couldn't get what's up. Didn't it become like an RPG or something?
Yeah, it is great.
So I don't play RPGs.
They're all actually RPGs, fun fact, but it's...
Yeah, I don't play those. So
respectively.
Only RPG I played that I enjoyed, I didn't really realize it was RPG at the time, was Ultimate Alliance.
Okay.
Ultimate Alliance, the Marvel?
I remember.
Yeah.
But you don't count Grand Theft Auto for yourself as an RPG?
That's not an RPG, no. RPG, that's an action adventure.
Agreed. Okay.
RPG is like when you gotta press like 3 different commands to swing your sword. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like you have all these build-ups.
To some degree. Because
I never really liked those.
Technically, Skyrim is RPG. But
and I've never played that.
See, look, so well, before we go any further,
okay,
let me ask you what your top 5 is.
I can't give you my top 5.
Why not?
Because I don't know. But
what?
I can't give you on the spot right now. I can't give you my top 5. But I can tell you, I can name out games that if they're not in your top 5, it's trash.
And so this is where the real debate happens.
So like,
right here. I'll tell you my top.
If somebody gives me a top 5 and it don't got the Spider-Man franchise in it, you're trash.
No.
If it don't got the Batman Arkham, like, pick one. It don't matter what game it is. Just pick one of them games out of that. It's trash if it's not in there. God of War, which is what we kind of focus in our debate on.
Yeah.
Trash. Like Uncharted. Heck, I would even say I would throw Mortal Kombat in there. I throw a fighting game in there. Like, there's no way there's no way you can have a top 5 and not have one of those titles in there. So Grand Theft Auto, I'll give him. He said Red Dead, but like, still, bro.
So this is what I'm gonna say. Well, first I'm gonna give you my top 5 because my top 5 is literally this: Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, number 1. That's an amazing game. Now you're not a Switch player, so that's fine. It's a little bit. It is more of my, and even there, it's the end of my generation. So I barely jumped on the Switch. But Breath of the Wild, amazing game. Pokemon Ruby came out in like 2003. But that's one of my favorite Pokemon games of all time. Metal Gear Solid 5, I recently played it. Came out in 2015. It's probably going to be replaced by Snake Eater. They're doing a reboot of that one. So I'm super excited for that. But that's because, Snake Eater is considered the best one. And it's considered the best game of all time. But 5 was crazy. It was like $5 on the PlayStation. So if you want a game that's really dope, that one.
I played it. I can't beat it.
It's actually easier. It's only 30 missions, actually. Fun fact. So it's actually not as bad as you think it is. But
no, I mean, like, literally, I couldn't beat it. I think I got stuck somewhere. I was just like,
you're just like, all right.
Is that the game where they had a ninja dude on there? What's his name? He was like a ninja.
Snake?
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid. It's the ninja dude.
No, that's Raiden. I think you're talking about.
Raiden.
That's
wasn't he in 5 though?
No, he wasn't in 5.
I thought he appeared in there.
No. Okay. He doesn't appear in there. No. But Metal Gear Solid 5, Batman Arkham City. That's on my. But mind you, I'm a little biased. I am a Batman fan, but
doesn't matter. But that's in your top.
It's in my top.
That's
5.
all I'm saying. Like
it's
in your top 5.
It's not in everybody's top 5 though. And then my last one has to be Skyrim. Skyrim is in my top 5. But
see, I won't call your list trash. Because you do have. You see what I'm saying?
Here's the thing though. If Batman was not there, it would probably be replaced by Fallout 4. But with that being said, I'm not going to call a person's list trash. One, because it's personal. But two, all the games you mentioned are majoritively PlayStation exclusives, right?
Blame me because I chose the best system.
No. I'm a PlayStation player too. You know I am. I'm just saying it leaves out major franchises such as like Mario. If you have Super Mario Brothers 2, I think, which is probably considered like the best one, in your top 5, I can respect that. Because it's like, okay, Super Mario Brothers 2, chances are you probably were a Nintendo player. You probably had the Game Boy Advance. That's a great game, right? If you said you had, I would give or take maybe like a Elden Ring, right? I'd be like, okay, more recent game player. But if you just because you don't have Uncharted, Spider-Man, Batman, God of War, which I love God of War.
I'm giving you like 7 titles. That I'm not saying you got to have all of those. If you don't have one of those in there, ain't no way, bro.
But think about it though.
Those games like change the face of like gaming, bro.
But here's the thing though. Think about it. I was talking to my brother about this. There's a certain person I don't. This is I respect everybody's gaming list personally, but there's couple of people I just get on my nerves. Not necessarily I don't respect them, but just get on my nerves. If a person's like, okay, let's say they said their top 5 games are Bloodborne, Fallout New Vegas, Oblivion, Shadow of the Colossus, and I actually will say Ocarina of Time. I'm gonna be like, man, shut up, because you're like one of those elite gamers that you just wanted to prove to me that you're an elite gamer. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna say Bloodborne. I'm gonna throw in Dark Souls 1 because you really wanted to be that much of an elite gamer. You get what I'm saying? It's like you're just one of those elite gamers where you're like, those are my favorite games, bro. You're not telling me right now. No disrespect, I love Oblivion too, but you're gonna be like, yeah, you like Skyrim? Well, I like Oblivion. Like, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So with that being said, I'm like, you're just one of those ultra elite gamers. On the other side of the spectrum, if you're like, my 5 games are Modern Warfare 2, Grand Theft Auto, Uncharted, God of War, and I would dare say, I'm not going to throw Batman on there, Last of Us. I'm going to be like, so you just like every commercial successful game? And that's every.
But those are all great games.
And they're great. I think
they're great games.
I think they're actually all great games, but I would still be like, so every commercially successful game, did you play any game outside of
Fun fact,
overly marketed games?
Fun fact, when I played God of War, I didn't know what God of War was. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just kind of randomly like saw it and played it. So it wasn't like it because it was
commercially successful.
Pushed. Yeah. Like, love that game. The first one, I probably played that game. I played that game once. I said a whole trilogy. Like, not the one you're talking about. Like, when you was
4.
The new, yeah.
4. 18.
Yeah, God of War, the new one. Like, the original trilogy, 1, 2, and 3. I play those games probably once every 2 years. Like, I'll run through them all. And there's not many games I've done that to.
Well, first of all, I definitely think that means one of them has to be in your top 5, probably.
Because the storyline is so freaking awesome. Like, it's not even a game, bro. Like, when I say best game, I look at the gameplay, I look at the story, the character. Like, it's classic, man.
Look, I'll say this: do I think God of War deserves a spot if somebody says it's in their top 5? Yes, I think it deserves a spot. Would I be shocked? Like me personally, I love God of War 2018. That's my favorite, particularly.
I wasn't a big. I'm not gonna say I wasn't a fan of it, but
It
don't hold the weight. It don't hold the weight.
It's a father and his boy.
It don't hold the weight though that the other ones had. Like I remember me and my friend talked about it when it came out, and it was like, dude, the opening, like first 10 minutes of any God of War game, bro, was a freaking movie. I mean, the sound design, like it was just. I mean, it was an experience. 2018 didn't have that.
I'll say this: 2018. Well, that's 2018. I'm really gonna talk about God of War 3. That's the one I remember the most. They're, in a lack of better words, they're ultra violent, right?
Yeah.
You know, and by that I mean you're fighting Poseidon out the gate. You're on Gaia's back in God of War 3, right? You're climbing up Mount Olympus because you got to.
All of them are like that,
right?
1 and 2 like that too.
Oh yeah, no, I remember. The it's like a Cyclops in the first.
The first one, the whole thing is he's leading up to fight the Kraken, like the 3-headed.
It's the second one. I think it's like a Cyclops.
I can't remember what the opening scene was in the second one. I can't remember.
Don't get me wrong. It is.
But they're all like.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They open the game up with.
Yeah, you go like
on
10, and then it scales down, and then you go back.
Yeah, and I respect that. It's only that for me, in terms of top 5, they don't hit like a story such as Metal Gear Solid 5, which was possibly one of the most cinematic games I've ever played.
Can I ask you a question though?
Yes.
Tell me you don't doze off during the cutscenes.
No, I didn't.
You lying.
I'm so serious.
Me and Monte used to talk about that because he's a huge Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
fan. I am too, but dude, if I'm playing that in the middle of the night, you go to a cutscene, I'm about to give me 15 minutes in, man. Like it's too long, man. Like you be ready to get back to the game, bro. Like. You can't tell me you understand what's going on in that storyline. Now I'd be lost. I don't know what they're talking about.
Now, what I will say, Metal Gear as a whole entire franchise is all over the daggone place. It is. Because technically 3 is the first one.
It's like niggas a clone or something. Like what's going on?
Like 3 is the first one. Metal Gear Solid 5 is actually like 2, technically, or actually not even 2. It's really Peace Walker that was on the PSP. That's 2, in quotation marks. Then it's Metal Gear Solid 5. Then it's Metal Gear Solid, like I think 2 exactly, the actual 2. It's like a whole. It's convoluted. So
it's confusing.
So I'll say this: if you play any of the other ones, it will be really freaking confusing. You'll be like, "What the heck is going on? I don't know who's who, what's where." Even Metal Gear Solid 5, you're not playing as really. You're not really Snake. You're actually a different guy that you think you're Snake. You've been brainwashed. It's a whole. See, I will say that's annoying, but it is that game. Opening scene was crazy. You literally are.
I don't think I played 5.
But you gotta play that game.
Maybe I did. I know I played 4. I think 4 is the one I got stuck on.
4 I would probably.
And I was like, all right, I'm done with this.
4, you're old in that game. Like,
yeah, I think so.
That's 4. Yeah, that's 4.
And I think that frustrated me so bad that when 5 came out, I was like,
and mind you, you're only old because like you're a clone. But it's a whole. Yet again,
3 I love though. 3 is Snake Eater.
Snake Eater. That's considered the best one.
I love fighting Revolver Ocelot.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
That's the last one that I was like, okay. And then after that, I was like, nah.
Try 5 though. 5's opening scene is crazy. Like you're literally rescuing somebody from Peace Walker, which yet again you wouldn't know unless you play Peace Walker, which is annoying. They don't do a good job of that. They just need to remake the whole entire game series and put them in order. But you literally are on a solo rescue mission to do that, and you're in the rain. He has his full like spy suit on. It's a crazy scene. Where and I was like, this is freaking amazing. If I say it to say, to me, Metal Gear has to be on a top 5 list because Snake is such an iconic character. But if we're talking about iconic characters, I think Kratos is in top 10 for sure. I don't know if I
would love to see a movie. I would love to see a live action movie.
I would be. I don't want to because if they mess it up, I'm gonna be sad.
I mean, I'm saying I would like to see a good live action movie. Of course, we don't want it to be bad.
If I wish they would give what's the guy who does the voice acting for him? I wish they would give him the role. They're not going to.
No, he doesn't.
They don't want to though either. They also don't want to. And then
I heard fan cast The Rock.
No.
A couple of years ago, somebody said Triple H.
Let me tell you something.
I can see that.
If you want to ruin the movie, cast The Rock.
Yeah, he's gonna be
The Rock.
Right.
The Rock doesn't like you, boy. Like, no.
Well, nah, you can't do that version. You got to go back to when they was in the Greek.
Well, actually, you know who I would love to see if they did the 2018 version. The guy who plays the Mountain in
Thor.
Yeah, either him play Kratos or Thor. Because if he played Thor,
no, I mean that's his name.
Yeah, I'm saying, but if he played Thor, the new one, that'd be crazy because he kind of has that same stature and look. He's also Scandinavian, I think, as well. So it's like this would really work. That would be amazing. I would be like that's a if you don't play him as Kratos, put him as Thor.
I think they have to cast the unknown as Kratos.
The boy could do it though. The kid that plays the boy, his name like Sonny Suljic or something like that. He could play.
Yeah.
Atreus. I think he could do good. He kind of matches the same tone. He wouldn't be the young version.
You should go back and play the first two.
I will. I think
it's on PS Store. I think it's free if you got the membership.
I do. So I'll go back and play him.
Just play the first one. Go through at least like the first. Just go through the first scene so you can get that energy I'm talking about.
To end this though, give me at least one game that's in your top 5. Or at least,
any of those are their names.
To God of War?
Yeah, God of War would be in my top 5.
Okay. Give me another one though. Give me
Batman
one.
Arkham City.
That's a valid choice.
If I had to choose one out of the Arkham games, it'd probably be Arkham City. Last of Us, maybe.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
I'm playing the second one right now.
I know it's not as good though. I heard it's just not. It doesn't hit the
same. I just don't like what they did to Joel, but it's another.
Because he's not even in the game, right?
He's in the game he's in the game when we start out.
Oh, does he die? I thought so. I wasn't sure.
He died bad too. It's like, why y'all do this, Joel? By a woman.
Yeah.
But it came out in 2020, so
it
came out during that period of time. Where
I just heard it wasn't a good game in general. Or not that. Say that.
It's not a bad game.
Say it again. Not
you like the first one?
Mind you, I actually don't like games like Last of Us. Fun fact.
You get scared?
No, it's actually that's crazy. You asked me to fall asleep during Metal Gear Solid. No, Last of Us is like one of them games. I'm like,
I don't see how.
I'm like, get to the point. I'm
like,
you
like the show though, right?
Yeah,
the show was good, right?
Actually, now I think about it, video game shows are actually doing well too.
Yeah, shows do better. What I have learned, shows do better than movies because you gotta think. Games take what? 10. Let's say on average 10 hours to complete. You can't make a 2-hour movie. But when you got 8-hour-long episodes, you can flesh out more story.
Yeah,
I think that's the problem. They try to, or you got a franchise that's
everything else
3 or 4 games long, and then you try to make an hour and a half film. Like,
I it's funny. Well, first of all, I thought Joel died in the first one.
Nah, he didn't die.
Oh, so he doesn't die. Okay.
Nah, he slaughtered everybody at the end because he got the girl to the doctors.
Yeah.
And then he found out.
Fun fact: I just watched my brother play the entire thing because that's just not my game.
It's fire, bro.
Those games are so story focused, which is awesome.
That's what I love. I love story games.
And let me be real, that's awesome. I love that. But they are so story focused. They're more like a movie to me. And I wish they would just be a movie, which is why I like the show. I don't really enjoy playing it though.
I feel you.
So like I kind of, but that's why I draw closer to the show because I'm like makes sense to me. And like I said, I know number 2 is good.
It's not as good as the first one.
That's what I've heard.
I think a lot of people got pissed off because they felt like it was woke. That's why I alluded to the 2020 thing. I know from people that I heard like online talking about it, they hated it and didn't want to support it because it was woke.
I've heard,
and it is woke.
I didn't necessarily hear that, but what I heard was just that some of the elements that you kind of receive from the first one that are between Joel and is Ellie.
Yeah.
Like you just don't get that.
You don't.
Because he's not existent. so you don't really receive that same relationship, which you've kind of built up through the first game.
Yeah.
Like I said, like a show, it kind of sucks.
They check all the boxes though.
Okay,
Like all the woke boxes. I feel like more of that, and see, we talked about this stuff before. It's like, I think the game may have suffered because they were so focused on making sure they checked boxes versus story.
You know, Chris, I'm going to statistically disagree, but
You can't because you haven't played it.
But then again, I will say also I haven't played it. So
No, I'm being legit though. Like it's. I just told you I think the game is straight. I'm playing it right now. I think it's straight. Like I'm having fun, but I'm not an idiot. Like I do see that they literally like, oh, we got this type of character, we got this type of scenario. I just told you seen Joel is a beast, bro. Not only was he killing other mercenaries and looters and creatures, but he gets taken out by some little young chick. Like, come on, man. If we're not gonna say woke,
mind you, I haven't played it, so I don't know. I'm not gonna pin it on that.
But that's what happens.
But I do think. I think, if anything, the game wanted to go in the direction of focusing on Ellie. But I do think though that missing element of whether
it was a father-daughter element
that kind of existed, and you kind of like that,
and they took it away.
And I think that's more the focus, rather it being like, oh, why he got. I don't think that really is the main focus. I think it's more.
I'm telling you, people were pissed about it.
I wouldn't doubt it. No, I'm not.
I didn't play the game. I actually didn't play the game because so many people ragged on it about the story. Like how they just took a left turn. So I was like, but my homeboy had it. And he was like, yo, I beat it. Want to borrow it? So my thing was I wasn't going to support it. So since I'm playing it for free, I was like, yeah, it's like 5 years later.
But the good news is it means it's still a good game.
Yeah, it's not a bad game.
So like I said, I don't think that necessarily means it shouldn't have been supported. I think it's still good. But I do think that element of you had a relationship that you literally built up literally like a movie, because that game is like a movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And it got stripped away in literally the first couple of minutes, from my understanding.
Yeah, by the first hour.
So I think that probably is the more painful part of like, I literally just had this whole thing with him, and I thought we were going to basically make a part 2 of this to understand that. And then it was like, he's gone.
They said, gotcha.
They said, he's dead.
We got a new relationship now.
They said, focus on Ellie. And I also think like that, now you have to basically focus solely on a new character and build a new character.
But it's Ellie. Like, Ellie ain't the problem.
You feel like it's everything else.
It's the new person. That's the problem.
And also I was going to say, like, example, Metal Gear Solid 2, right? Which is arguably one of the most games that nobody likes out of Metal Gear Solid games. You always Solid Snake. That's who you usually are, right? But then the next one, you're this guy named Raiden, and he's a whole new character.
I hated that.
And everybody got ticked off about that. Please.
Yeah, that's them.
But with that being said, you see what happens. It's like you can't introduce an audience to a whole new system and character and expect them to understand it as well. That's why I'm like, I don't think it necessarily would be like as much as a quote unquote woke thing than it would be hey, this is media literacy. Y'all should have known that removing a character that people fell in love with and introducing a whole new one, or saying, hey, focus on this one guy now, right? You're kind of like, whoa, where's the guy I just was rolling with? I was rolling with Snake. Right. Why is Raiden here? Right. Who is this random guy Raiden? I don't like this guy. And it's probably a decent game, but I'm over here.
Like half robot.
Yeah, but you're only focused on that.
Yeah.
And it takes away from the fact that the game is actually good. Like you were saying, the last part too, the game is actually good. It's just the fact of you removed a key point here that we had a built-up. It's like if they took away Kratos in the middle of God of War 2 or Ragnarok, and they said focus on Atreus. You'd be like, no.
I know. Yeah.
Like, no, I don't want to focus on Loki. I don't care. Like, I don't care if he can turn to a bear or not. Like, I don't. No, get this away from me. Like, give me Kratos again. I need that. That's what I would probably attribute it more to. But that's just me though.
Yeah. I got you. So before we get out of here, man, let the people know where can they check out your content, where can they find you at if they want to connect. You could follow my TikTok. Literally, it's called Yapology. Look here, because this camera might. It's still rolling. It's still rolling. So it's a Yapology. That is one of my TikToks. I literally talk about any and everything there. It doesn't matter. Cars, video games, whatever. But the main place, of course, is here on YouTube. It is Isaiah's Lego Room. I do everything Lego content there, and love doing it every day, all day.
that's what I love doing. So if you guys like little nerdy content like Lego, check me out there. And so yeah, y'all.
If you guys made it to the end of the video, go ahead, like, share, leave us a comment, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace. All right, man.
I got a piece so bad, bro.
Really?